Hello, and welcome to Spectral Search's post-investigation discussion. In this segment, we will be joined by the team that performed the investigation to go over the evidence that was found, speculate about its authenticity, and decide if we feel the location is haunted or up for speculation. Today, we're joined by Sarah, Eric, and Jordan to discuss our stay at the Hochelaga Inn.
Hey, you did it.
I did it!
Hey, you got there. Sweet.
All right, so now I'm like, hey guys,
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
it's going. We'll just pretend like we haven't been talking for a few minutes already.
Okay. Not pre-scripted at all. Nope.
Yeah,
No.
not pre-scripted. Yeah, so I don't really know how long this is going to go for because I think we can collectively probably mostly agree that we didn't actually find anything at this place.
This place might be the least haunted place in Canada.
Hold on. What about the bedroom at night? How did that video turn out?
So the one camera didn't record anything,
Damn.
which was really weird because
The ghost turned it off.
yeah, but I do have the footage of that too, so we can look at that. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating because you said you saw like a shadow and that camera was pointing the right way for it, and then I like went and it's just like there's no files on it. I was like, oh, there's a folder, like it said it recorded something, and then there's no files in it. And then I put in the other memory card from the other camera, and it's like there's a whole bunch there. So I was like, okay, like that's fun. Also, I love that this sun is coming on the perfect angle that I can't do anything about it. There's like we got our blinds pulled, but there's like a little window up top, and it comes to that one.
Pretty natural, honestly. It
The sun is natural.
It's the worst. It's so sunny and beautiful. It's just awful.
I super hate that
worst.
it's a beautiful day out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we should be filming this outside. Let's
that would look.
All right, so I did make a little video again. I'm doing this differently every single time because I'm trying to find one way that's actually going to work nicely. So, let me know if you can hear the audio. I do believe I'm sharing the audio, but you never know. It seems like Zoom's kind of confusing with that. So, as always, our beautiful logo made by Eric.
Yay.
See if the spacebar works. Spacebar works. Cool. All right, so we actually tested out a whole bunch of things that kind of had interesting responses to them. I don't know if I believe that any of these things were like super legitimate or any sort of method of like proving anything, such as Eric with the Ouija board. Don't think that was a legitimate response.
I didn't do it, I swear.
But there was a bunch of stuff, so I figured, we can go through some of that and watch little clips of them. I had to shorten down a lot of this stuff, like the spirit box we did forever, and different methods of it. The ghostwriter is probably the most boring thing I've ever watched in my entire life because it doesn't move at all. So yeah, we can kind of go through some of that stuff. Cat balls. Please tell me you just did that. You guys hear that?
We were walking. Yep.
Yeah.
I think the thing probably said
maybe.
I captured it.
it.
Well, we're never leaving this hotel room.
Unless that's Eric. No, I turned it on.
Immediately we were like, well, this fucking guy.
Did you hit that?
No.
I love that Jordan says no. You're standing on the other side of the room. You're like, I didn't do it. No. Like, you're right. You didn't do it. Yeah.
You know what the best thing is? Hearing your own voice on recordings. That's always so nice.
Oh my gosh, I know. I was watching your video.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to like turn it off like 30 minutes in because I'm like, I can't look at myself. I hate
I always look at myself and think I look squished. I'm like, how come my head's so like wide in the shots? I'm like, but front to back, it's like this way, not this way.
Yeah.
Mine's just like, does she like think she's cool?
Why
is she talking? Who is that?
So I do think with the cat balls going off, I think that Eric said in the video when we were recording it, like we tested walking around it, nothing happened. But I think you were hitting the floor with your foot a bit more aggressively while you're sitting on the couch. I think that you set that one off.
Honestly, I actually agree with you. I think it was just because people were moving stuff even on the other side of the table here and there. And
yeah.
and
I think
around the table.
And I think, yeah, around the table too, it was like, I probably nudged it.
Yeah.
Like, I probably nudged the table and it set it off. I don't think the cat balls captured anything.
No. I like the implement of them in general, though. Like,
yeah,
I actually think
other
they're great,
people,
but I just don't think we caught anything like legit with them.
other people seem to have really good luck with it, but I do think that our video also shows how easy it is to set them off without thinking you set them off too. Like, we
Yes.
tested walking around it. I think a lot of other channels would be like, hey, we tested it,
Yeah.
it went off, and then we tested and it didn't go off, so that was legit response. But like, just the severity of how much you're walking around, it can obviously really change how much is happening.
Yeah.
So that was our cat balls. Pretty cool though.
Yeah, they're fun but they are really sensitive. So
Not gonna
like
let
you
our
breathe
seizure
around them.
prone cat play with them.
No.
I thought you were gonna say Caesar prone friend.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
No, I'll let Frankie play with them. That's fine. There'll be a disclaimer at the start, just for Frankie. All right. Our next thing we got. I made this video earlier today. I don't remember what it is.
Okay.
All our EMF readings.
Yo, that TV.
Throughout the night, we found that Sarah had consistent results with the EMF in the bathroom, whereas no one else managed to find the same intensity in the responses.
Well, at least not some of these lights.
That was interesting.
Yo, come look. Come look.
Oh my gosh, I didn't believe you. Damn, that's really crazy.
Oh.
Hi.
Fucking told you.
No way.
Oh shit. Hey, Ghosty.
Nothing is really happening.
Who are you talking to there?
Camera.
Oh. See, now I've added too much to
Alright, official under the bed. Let's go.
So it's like, seems like there.
Because of
I mean, I think you just found the right spot to hold it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was messing with me. Didn't like you guys.
Maybe there is some pretty creepy stuff coming up with you anyway.
Oh, good. Good,
Like
good, 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 good.
foreshadowing that you're gonna
Yeah.
become a intro.
Yeah, there's something that I think is now latched on to me forever, and it's like it's gonna do something in like 10 years.
It better start paying rent. Yeah,
Buys a house ghost.
it was interesting. I don't think I had a good shot of Jordan doing it, but Jordan also started with the EMF in the bathroom, and we didn't get anything.
Nothing.
And then Sarah did it, immediately something. Then I did it, nothing. Then Sarah did it, immediately something again. There was like consistency in like going up by the shower head. So I kind of think that maybe that was just electrical somewhere over there, and probably in the middle of the shower too. I think it's probably just the height. Everything is just perfect for where you were doing it, whereas where I was doing it just wasn't quite in the right area. Probably, it is pretty. The EMF reader, like the K2, it's just a monoaxial reader. So if I'm on the wrong angle, you're not going to get it. You're probably just holding it the right way. And me and Jordan's just too friggin' tall, probably. And then, yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Maybe. I don't know. I thought it was odd that specifically Sarah was the only one getting reactions from it.
It
But
is
like,
definitely odd.
it's odd. Yeah, I don't know. It could have just been you guys weren't holding it at the right angle, the right place. I
Yeah.
don't know. But
Yeah, because I feel like I did show you like where it was going off, and you tried to hold it in the same position, and it didn't.
yeah,
quite.
Yeah.
So
I think that collected or with some of the EVP stuff later, it would be a good argument that there was something that was responding to you and not so much to us. And I think like the fact that it was only in the bathroom, and then when we did our spirit box stuff, the selective one, I think it's pronounced like the Estis or Estis method, where it's the one person with the headphones. I think having the bathroom kind of environment, it was a good test for that.
I think Sarah was the one who found the doll too, so maybe the doll was secretly haunted, and like, so
Oh my
yeah, no one even else saw the doll except me. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, it was definitely the doll. Do you have it at your house now?
No, I got it from work.
You gave it back to your work. Also,
Yeah.
like, why does your work have that?
Yeah, it's,
I work at a weird place. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's definitely a weird place for that to be kicking around. Okay,
Yeah. Let's tell you.
not gonna ask. Moving on.
Okay.
The Ouija board.
Yeah.
So there's two different methods of doing this, depending on what you read online. The first one is you just wait a few minutes and see what happens. And the second one is if nothing happens, you spell out hello. So we'll just take a moment. Is there anybody there?
There.
Oh my goodness, I wonder what that
I couldn't
was.
believe how much.
Let's happen.
See you guys.
Is there anyone
I love
there?
it. So intense.
Yeah, the music choices.
Is there someone there?
We tried so hard with that. Like, I feel like the Ouija board, you always give it we give it so much, such a hard try. And I feel like we never get anything.
Yeah.
I think Ouija boards are really funny because everyone I know is terrified of Ouija
Mhm.
boards.
I was definitely one, but that was my
And then
first
the
time.
second
Me
you get
too. I used to be until Josh.
That was your
Yeah.
first time? Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you.
I know, me too.
and the second you get you realize, oh, this is just like a thing that's not
Yeah, it
super
wasn't good.
serious.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like I made that video on Ouija boards a while back, and like when you really like
Yeah.
look at the history of it and realize like it was never intended to be like a scary thing, and for
Yeah.
how long it still operated as just like a game before before it, the whole story about like the guy like predicting his own death through it or something like that, then he died soon after, and everyone was like, holy shit, like maybe this thing's real. But like there's so many things that we use like contact the other side, but for some
Mhm.
reason the Ouija board's the one that we're like, this is the
That's
one.
the one. Yeah.
You
So
know,
many
Interesting, eh?
So I even know some people that said never. Like they've done it, they've had experiences. So
Really?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good videos online with them about blindfolding people using them, and it's like they're doing it, they're getting crazy responses, and they blindfold everyone, and the Ouija board can't spell anything. It's like going nowhere near letters. It's a really cool study that there's a YouTube link to it somewhere, but yeah, it's a cool one.
Well, it's
Yeah,
like
I'd
what we
watch
were
that.
talking about. Sorry, Eric.
No, let's not go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's like kind of like what we were talking about. Where is it like, do they speak through you, and that's why you have to look at the board, or like we don't really know how they speak. Is like if they're moving it themselves, or if you like they're kind of almost like going into you through it, kind of thing. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah. There's an interesting one. I was reading Dan Aykroyd's dad's book, and he was talking about the spirit trumpet, and they're saying that like there's different methods and how ghosts can use it, but one of them is making its own set of vocal cords out of ectoplasm in you so that they can talk through it, which kind of does support the idea that like they need to utilize your body's frame to uh to utilize other things, right? So if you're looking at the idea of like maybe they have to use your eyes, or maybe you got ectoplasm eyes that are overlaid over yours, I don't know. It's an interesting thought though, that they require you to be able to see it, or else they can't see it, or else maybe they can't move it. I don't know. It does put up a lot of questions about how other things work though. Like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's listening, does it make a noise? If a ghost is around but there's no eyes to see it, is it around? Like,
I don't know. That's interesting. I've never thought of it that way before. That's kind of interesting.
that's always the go-to argument when people are like, well, this doesn't work this way. They're like, well, it's because the body couldn't see it. We had a lot of eyes on our Ouija board here, and it didn't move.
Maybe I'm ridiculous. I need a ghost to come up and like high five me or some shit like that. That's what I'm looking for. I want the ghost to come, be like, "What up?" and I'll be like, "Oh shit, this is real."
Yeah, like, oh, I need to reevaluate my life.
Yeah, like literal. And actually,
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because like we'll watch other YouTube channels and stuff like that. When anytime anyone finds like really concrete evidence of like ghosts and stuff like that, you're like, this is fake. Like you see like ghost hunters, they've got like a picture of like the typical Victorian girl in the background. They're like, we found a ghost. I'm like, obviously this is Photoshop. Like,
I love-
like
Yeah,
there's no
unless
way
you
this is
experience
real.
it yourself, you're not going to believe it unless you're a believer.
Yeah.
when me, you, and Frankie were at the one place and they put the Victorian dress in your bedroom,
Yeah.
I was just like, they're just like trying to like make this place creepy. Like this is intentional.
Yeah,
So
it
I
was
think-
creepy though.
Yeah, I think I mentioned to you though, I was watching another person's investigation there, like happened right before ours, I think it was, like a month before, and it was a different dress. So they swapped it out for a different dress. And I was
Maybe
like, I know that when we were talking to the owner, she was saying that she was trying to get like legitimately older stuff. So I
Yeah,
wonder if they did find a good dress to substitute out with, or if they were just like, I don't know, let's throw a different one in there today. Like
that's what
it's
I'm
really
saying.
hard to tell.
In case people, excuse me, that was gross. In case people revisit, you want to make sure there's some
Yeah.
different experience.
Yeah.
And then Eric moves it to the other side of the room.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
That wasn't you, definitely
It
not
wasn't
you.
Eric though, but it was funny.
Yeah. All right.
Eric specifically thinks it was funny, but it wasn't Eric.
Yeah.
I've
He's like-
never pranked anyone in my entire life, not once, never.
I do love in the other video where I captured you leaving the room after you open the drawer. It's like you just see Eric leaving the room, then Frankie being like, "Oh, the drawer's open," and it's like I have you on video leaving the room, and then you're just like, "I'm just eating a fruit roll up." You don't even deny that you did it. You just like completely ignore the question. You're like, "I'm eating a fruit roll up." All right. After the Ouija board, we did the spirit box, I believe. Spirit box.
Are you a child?
So yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that's not usually.
You and your friends.
Oh, that's frightening. Are you?
I got a yeah there.
If you're not the woman in black, are you one of the kids? Supposed to be a little boy that's blonde. I want something really just sort of.
Are you
Is that
gonna?
like Jordan again?
Yeah.
Are you saying Jordan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to find
Poor
those sound
Jordan.
effects? It took me forever. I'm like scrolling through lists of like crescendoing noises. Yeah.
Definitely flattered.
It's like they were singing to Jordan.
That was
Yeah.
very nice.
You were definitely the highlight of that event right there.
Hold them right in.
Yeah, I mean the spirit box, especially using the FM, I find there's a lot of background noises, and it's hard to filter out if something is like a communicable moment or if it's just you're picking up the tail end of a sentence on the radio. I think maybe would be a really interesting idea next time would be to get what is it, iHeartRadio, where you can see all the different Canadian radio stations.
Yeah.
And then, you've pointed out, I think, with the back house where you're looking, you saw it's like at whatever station we kept picking up a voice. So it'd be cool if you could like test it out and then open up your phone, go to iHeartRadio, kind of browse through those sections and see if it's the same voice on one of the stations there. And you could kind of rule out like, oh yeah, it was an ad for this and we caught this word.
That might be a good idea actually, because I always I agree with you. Like FM particularly is pretty rough to try and get anything from because you do just catch the tail end of like everything. Like it's just too much. The AM works a little better, but
I just found when we tried the AM this time, there was nothing.
oh,
Like
no.
it was just silence. And it was like, oh, all right. It does also still bring up the question of like, is the ghost talking to you in the spirit box? Or is the ghost like pulling words from the radio station to make a sentence? Like that's kind of the question that I have on that. If they're pulling it from the radio station, then it makes sense that it sounds like whoever's talking on the radio station. Kind of like I think like maybe the movie White Noise 2 was like that or something like that. Like, is it, are they utilizing those different things to build a sentence?
It's kind of like in some horror movies where they'll have like a song start playing that's like clearly the ghost or the whatever speaking through it, but it's the song. But it's like I'm gonna get you, la la
Like
la la la. Like
1408.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, my gut goes to the other end of like, yeah, I feel like it would be like it would make more sense based on our experiences that they'd be just pulling.
See, that makes more sense to me in the sense that's like they're just changing the radio station. But the
Mhm.
idea that like they're pulling specific clips from the stations out, I'm like, man, they got to be like some kind of sound editor or something. Like what is that? Like, it's
Yeah.
like oh, we have
There's
like
no
50 different stations, so I'm gonna like do.
they're able to
Yeah,
travel through like there's no sense of time in the ghost world. They can just slowly like burp, 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 boop, beep, beep
what is
for
this,
us.
Interstellar? Like what?
I don't know. I didn't watch
Yeah.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hear it's a good movie
It is a good movie. I recommend it.
though.
No comment. I have my own opinions.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like,
Never mind.
okay. Anyway, this isn't about
this
that.
this channel's gonna turn
Yeah.
into a movie review channel really soon.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as far as the stuff that we caught with the spirit box, I don't know. Some of the stuff lined up really well. Or like when it's like you and your friends, like that's kind of a creepy sentence to have in there. But it's also like that would probably make sense in a regular ad too. Like
Yeah.
the sentence to be there. I think the Jordans are just hilarious combinations of words that just happen to sound like Jordan. Like almost any two syllables like that would have done it, but it just worked out so well that you were here for it.
That's kind of how it came off to me. Is just like there were some fun kind of coincidences where it kind of sounded like your name a bit, but it was just more fun. And
So
I don't think it's a coincidence that there was a lot of yeahs. I'm like they say yeah on the radio like nonstop, and like literally it's like yeah, I am Lord. Like,
Lord, Lord, Lord.
Lord,
yeah,
Lord,
Lord,
Lord, I am Lord.
they say yeah in music like constantly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you feel weird at all, Jordan? Like, did you feel anything
I didn't
after
feel any,
that?
coldness around me or anything like that. But it was interesting. It was fun to play with, of course. Just like,
Mhm.
oh, what's going on? Like, get into the zone. Like, shit, this
He'd
could
wake
be
up
real.
screaming for days afterwards.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, it was interesting. It was fun. It was
I
fun.
think the Frankie one we had before was more legitimate than the Jordan ones we've had. There's the one where Frankie, it just sounded like Frankie. I think it's like Freakasm. And I was like, that almost was your full name, man. Like it was very fast. And he was like, I don't hear it. I'm like, I definitely heard like the first half your last name.
Yeah, I'll say that. Like the other places we've been to came off vaguely more haunted than this place.
The other places had way more like more people have investigated them and talked about them. Or like this one,
Yeah.
like it's on the Kingston Ghost tour and stuff like that. And there's a few stories kicking around, but it's not like you type it in and you get pages and pages of people talking about it being haunted. The Beck House is like on the top of the list of people talking about it being haunted. Coburg Jail, you throw jail in the name, everyone thinks it's haunted. It's kind
Yeah,
of like
like
Camp 30.
yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it's so haunted, but like the German people that were like imprisoned there thought it was just a great place to be because the Canadians treated them so well, apparently.
Well,
Not
yeah,
saying
that's
it's
why
not haunted, but
that's why it would be haunted. You die, you want to go back to vacation.
to this crazy Canadian winters.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like this place was just kind of a nice place to stay. Like it was pretty cozy. I kind of
I
just wanted
would
to like hang
recommend.
out in the living room downstairs.
Make friends.
Yeah.
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 We
I
drink
actually
so
thought
much coffee.
it did.
We had so much caffeine.
Like, yeah, it was just kind of I think a nice place to stay, but you know, I don't know. Like, not every place is gonna like even if it was haunted, it's not like every place is gonna show itself to us.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think it's go to the places that are less obviously top 10 haunted kind of places anyway, so
I mean, at the very least, we stayed at a place with a really short door handle, a really short toilet.
Oh, the short door handle was the
Interesting.
scariest
Weird.
part.
So creepy.
It
And-
was so weird.
It's just a reason to be there, you know?
There's a lot of history there. Like
Yeah.
there was a lot. You could feel like there was a rich history, which was nice.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I'd stay there again. All right, moving on. Proud of how this is working out this time.
Estes methods.
Do you have a child? We will. We will what? Are you a group of ghosts? Come on. Do you want us all to come in the bathtub? Okay, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just sounds like a ghost is coming on to you.
Wow.
It
Like,
happens. You
Oh,
know?
it's just like,
Yeah.
do you have a child? Like, we will. And it's like, I think it's more like, oh, we will. Like,
that a-
oh, yeah. Come on.
I swear I had those headphones like fast. It
You had the
And
headphones
Jordan's like,
on,
it
but it
wasn't
wasn't.
me. I swear.
was not playing, not scripted.
I love the part of clip right before that is when you're like, get in the tub. And then you hear you get in the tub, and then you just hear Eric laughing. He's like, "He's closing the shower curtain."
Yeah, Jordan fully
I was
committed.
almost on the spot. So we established there was all
Yeah.
the things there.
Yeah.
So,
It was good.
Fully committed.
Yeah.
had to.
I think that method works pretty well because you are going to get more of the like actual sentency kind of things as apart from like what might sound more musical. I mean, I think at one point you're like, smooth jazz. Like you can know what things you can probably filter out a bit better, and it's probably a lot less disruptive to other people staying at the hotel.
I think it's a far more interesting way to do it too, honestly. I don't know. I think it's more engaging.
Yeah. And plus, someone has to go stand by themselves somewhere creepy.
Yeah, I think that's part of the engaging part, right? It's like knowing that someone's kind of alone in the dark. Also, there's more chance of it being a legitimate response if you can't hear what the other person's asking. You're not
Yeah.
like trying to pull the answers out.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
takes me back to being a kid when you're playing like hide and seek and you have to like run away into like some room to hide and you're the only person in that room and it's all dark and you can't see.
Ugh.
I definitely
Good time.
remember a few times finding really good hiding spots as a kid. You're sitting there for like 10 minutes and you're like, actually, this is kind of scary.
Yeah,
And then you like
totally.
you go to a different room and get found right away, and you're like, damn it. Because you got too scared in your good hiding spot.
See, I'd be like, yes, I got found.
That's so funny.
Okay, what's our next one is Sarah, I believe.
Oh boy.
Still around.
What's the word?
Left?
Okay.
No.
Which way's left?
Forever.
Forever? Okay.
Tony?
Is your name Tony?
The sound. Whiskey.
Ooh.
I like whiskey.
She dedicated.
Did
Should dedicate
she dedicate the whiskey? Is your name Tony? Can you tell us anything about the afterlife?
See, I know that was serious. The music was just damning.
I feel pretty proud of my musical choices on those.
I love the music just because it'll be like something that's like not like really too much is going on. You're like, okay, like we're doing some tests, but it's not too intense. The music's like, we're all gonna die.
Yeah. Also, it's like, tell us about the afterlife, and I didn't say anything, and I'm like, why is this creepy? Because I didn't say anything, but it's like, doo doo doo. Like,
Great editing.
I love
I
it.
also like the EVP ones because I like tried to make it more interesting than just silence. So I
Yeah.
had like the crescendoing parts, but it's like I'm only doing that at parts where there's nothing on the EVP because otherwise I'd be going over the dialogue. So I was like, anytime it happens, it's like, well, there's nothing coming because otherwise I'd be going loud over top of it.
It makes the video more spicy. I don't know, it's fun.
Yeah. I do find at the start of that where it's like stay around or something like that, then it's like left and like forever. And it's almost like the sentences are almost like being left or staying here. I think in the moment I interpreted left as look left, so I looked left, and then it was like no, and it's almost like there was like a response to me looking left, like still here, left.
Creepy.
I look left, and it's like no, and it's like oh, because I'm an idiot and I look left instead of interpreting left as left behind. But I also feel like that could be a reach because we also bust out Tony and whiskey.
But you also asked about the afterlife. They didn't say anything. So this is maybe because they feel like they're left behind and they're not even in the afterlife.
Yeah, totally possible too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like you were just hearing radio state. But
Impressive you picked up on words on that.
yeah,
Very impressive.
I feel like that's just on par with my personality. I'm like, I want to say all the words I hear. Here we go. Like
That
speed
was-
round.
That was a lot to go through
Yeah,
in the
sorry.
video. And I mean, I included most of the actual video, but like all the parts are like, oh! And I'm like, well, that wasn't a ghost. Like, or it's a singing ghost. Who knows? Yeah, there's a
I
lot of
heard.
that. I had to crop out a lot of stuff, and I tried to keep in like the occasional thing like that because it's funny and we're all laughing about it.
yeah,
But yeah, it's definitely sometimes these things go too long.
yeah. Well, it takes a while. Oh yeah.
Oh, this was the most eventful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, if there's anyone there, you can now draw us a nice picture.
You can see a little orange there.
So the cool thing with this is that this footage doesn't actually line up with the rest of the footage. I just took the clips that Eric taped and I just put them in here because I knew that literally nothing happened. So it was
Okay.
like, I don't have to line up the audio for this. Like that's the hardest part, right? Is like lining up all the different clips so that the audio all lines up with it. And this one, I was like, I'm just gonna mute it and keep the old audio over top of it because there's nothing happening in this entire thing.
Yeah.
The
be
the
good.
fans, all like 40 fans, will just have to trust us that nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened. Except when I was holding it, then something
Ghosts
happened.
around here. Would you like to draw a picture? Seeing as I don't know, you're a child. Kids like drawing stuff.
Your favorite animal.
If you are not one of the children, you can always write us something. It doesn't have to be a picture.
If you go back to the thermo cam there, there's a little butt print there where the ghost is sitting with us.
There sure was. It is really impressive. I was showing it to Jordan.
Was
Yeah.
there actually? Stop.
There is a butt print there, but it's just Eric's butt print. I was showing it to Jordan in the moment. Like you can also see your footprints. You know,
The
let's
way
see if
you
I
said
can-
it was so dismissive, I loved it.
Okay.
You're like, yes, the ghost was
Yeah.
sitting there
Here's
anyway.
You can see my mouse. You can see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's your ghost butt. Right here. Here's the
I actually-
footsteps for where
Oh.
Sarah was standing before she walked over here. You can kind of make out a little bit.
Oh,
So she
That's
walked
what
this
I
way, sat
saw.
down, and then this is I forget. We had
left.
something charging over here, something like that. But yeah, it is really impressive the amount of like the heat that gets caught and captured.
yeah, actually.
Yeah. Now we gotta watch this again.
Well, fart
Write
clouds.
us something. It doesn't have to be a picture.
I'm kind of worried I'm pushing down too hard. Like, I don't think I am, but it was my first time doing that as well. So I'm like, okay, don't push. You know, maybe the ghost was trying to speak and I was pushing down too hard the whole
I feel like there's not like a set amount of pressure.
time.
Like you gotta like they'll write it in their instruction manual, this amount of pressure.
It has to be this precise amount.
Yeah.
I
You need
mean,
one of
I'm like that
those-
with the Ouija board too. I always worry that I'm like too light or too heavy.
I always like just like touch it, like barely put any pressure on it. I
Yeah,
think that
like-
one, if anything, we didn't have enough pressure on it because we didn't even make the pen make a dot. Like there was like nothing there at the end of it, right? Like at least when we did it with Frankie, there was like lines.
You slip the sheet right back in the pile.
I think I did. Like I think I was just like, there's nothing on this. Like before, like let's take a picture of it and we can like see if it looks like anything. I'm like, there's nothing. Like this is. So I think we might need a Sharpie or something, but I don't think a Sharpie will fit in it. But something that'll like definitely make a line or a dot as soon as it touches, because there's nothing on that. Maybe the pen wasn't good enough, but also we just we didn't move. Like, and we have all of Eric's footage that I had to sit through watching to see if we move at all, and we never move.
Yeah. Remind me next time, and I'll bring a Sharpie.
Yeah, I need to see if one will even fit in it though. Like, unless you have like maybe like the pen style Sharpies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even those are kind of fatter than a regular one, though. Not a regular Sharpie, but like a regular pen. So I'm not sure if it fit or not. I've got some at work. They're like made for writing on slides. They might fit too, but
Okay.
definitely we need to get a better one, or like a gel pen, maybe like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
actually.
a sparkly one.
Yes, please.
You remember those? They were great.
When I was a kid, I found the gel pens I was getting for Christmas, and I took them and I wrote in my journal with them. And I was like, I found these gel pens. I'm getting them for Christmas, and I was so proud of myself. And I still have guilt for
Did
doing.
you
Anyway, it's a
repackage
terrible
them?
story. Yeah, I just put them back. They
Back
were
in the-
loose, I think.
Oh, they were
I think
loose.
they were loose. There was like 4 of them. They were all different colors. I was so excited. The 90s, right?
Yeah,
Cute.
Ugh.
I just imagine it being like one of those packages you like rip
I just
open,
ripped it open.
and then you rip it open, you put it back. There's like tape like all around the edges of it because you're a kid. You're like,
I would just blame Jason.
yeah, oh, there you go.
It's fine.
Oh, the sun finally went down.
It's all coming together.
Trying to light my face.
Oh yeah, our EVPs. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. If there is anybody there, you can talk into the recorder here, or you can come and try to interact with this light over here and make it go off. So is there anybody here? We are going to go downstairs in a bit. Will you be downstairs with us to talk into the recorder down there?
Yeah. Okay, is there anybody here in the stairwell? Apparently there's a woman that is in black that is in these stairs. Are you here?
Yeah.
Are you the woman in black that was sitting by the large window? And if so, are you here? Are you the one that is singing lullabies somewhere? Eric just scared the crap out of me.
I saw it in the reflection.
Will you be singing a lullaby later?
The tree in the background was creepy. That was good.
Yeah.
Eric noises. That's good editing, Josh.
Shit.
I felt like I had to like account for the noise. Like everyone's
Yeah.
like, that was something. Like, no, it's just Eric enjoying a beverage in the background. Yeah, and, like the one video, I was so excited because you just see someone walk by, but it's you in the reflection. I was like, oh, I was so hoping that there'd be like something cool outside or something like that. But I'm like, that's clearly Eric walking by.
That happened a lot that night.
Yeah.
Like I thought I would think I would see something, and it was just like one of us.
Yeah, just walking
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like to explore, so I was definitely getting up in like business.
I do think that the like what it sounds like, who's there, was
Yeah.
to me that sounds like the probably one of the most like legitimate kind of things we got that night. Especially because we were wandering around at nighttime, it almost makes sense for someone to be like, who's there? But also we were like, Sarah and Eric were getting drinks, and me and Jordan were by ourselves. So even in the video, I do say like, there's the chance that we're gonna pick you guys up talking. I don't think that either one of you would have been like, who's there? But also like maybe I heard something that sounds like who's there when you're listening to it in this context, but it could have been like anything else. Like he's there. Like, you know, I looked for Eric and Sarah's like, oh, he's there, and I just didn't see you say that. Or maybe there's something asking who's there.
It was interesting. I didn't catch the words super clearly.
Do you want me to go back
Like,
to it? Go back,
yeah,
maybe. Okay, we're at 7:20.
Okay.
Eric noises. Okay.
It's pretty quiet.
It's pretty quiet. It's pretty like a who's there?
Or like, oh shit,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't hear honestly.
hoser.
That's totally fine too.
What was there?
I think
call
that
us
I
hosers.
shared it with a couple other people and I got like mixed results with it, which typically
Yeah.
I would be like, okay, if we're getting mixed results, I'm just gonna say it's not something.
So I don't really hear it, honestly.
Yeah.
No, it's clear, right? Next result.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Actually, if you
What-
send me the clip, I could probably try and like take some of the background noise with Audition,
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
see if I can get something.
I hope that you get it and it's just like a bird outside. But like
Yeah.
very prominent. It's just like a huh. I'm like, how did I hear that?
Yeah, send it to me later. I'll see if I can take out some of the static.
Yeah, I should have it still saved in here.
Upon further review and with the help of Eric and his audio software, it was concluded that there is some sort of voice there. Whether or not that is actually something paranormal or someone else talking is up for speculation. However, him and Jordan both agreed that it sounds like who's there.
All right. This is I don't think that's right.
It wasn't until after reviewing the footage that I noticed the silhouette. Is this the woman in black standing by the window?
It couldn't be a plant. Oh, something moved there though. That
I
kinda-
did
but
see something move.
Something just went like this. Looked like a cat or something.
Well, the only reason I left that in there is because there was a point where later on Sarah says, like, oh, I could have sworn I just saw something behind me, but I think it was just the plant. And I think there's another clip where it's like a similar angle and you don't see anything, even though there's the plant still there, kind of thing. It seems kind of more rounded. But again, we're all in different areas of the room at that point. I don't know if there's the chance of it just being a reflection of me with my camera looking over, and it's so short and abrupt and like out of focus and everything you want your ghostly photos to be.
Yeah, right. No, replay that. I actually think that was kind of interesting, but it was very sudden and like I wasn't expecting it. Now I know what I'm looking for a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, like you kind of see like
Yeah.
a head kind of shape here and all that, which doesn't
Yeah,
to me look like I think the plant kind of ends here.
It almost looks like maybe yeah.
But it could be partially the window and like what's behind the window too.
Yeah.
Like the feet don't go down to the ground either, right?
Yeah. Well, ghost float, man. Come on. Keep up.
101.
Yeah.
Ghost float.
Yeah. Come on.
But yeah, I
I
think
mean,
that
it's kind of fun.
like it almost looks like, you know, a different shade in here. It could be like a face maybe, but like you're looking at pixels like to kind of pull that together. But it is definitely kind of like when I was watching, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like it doesn't look like the plant.
Viewing the footage that I
This looks like a dog though. Here's like a little nose. Here's his eye.
Doggo.
Here's two ears.
See, to me, I'm like, I think it's just a combination of it being dark in that corner, the plant and the window, along with like reflections, all kind of making a really interesting blob.
Yes.
And like you're moving too. So
Yeah.
kind of-
And you're looking for stuff. Like I'm like, is there anything that's gonna look like a ghost in this? You know? But it was one of those things that kind of like, you know, went by. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna throw that in there. Also, as crappy as this is,
noticed the silhouette. Is this the woman in black standing by the window?
if you use AI art, you don't have to credit anybody.
When you put the video over top, it just reminds me of The Simpsons when Homer, like a sexual predator, is just like, and just
Yeah.
Window.
That's creepy.
Yeah, see, you can still kind of see something over here, like a
Yeah.
little head kind of thing.
It does look like something's over there.
See, because right there, something moves.
Where?
Yeah, the very last I see
Right
it,
at the end, look at like the plant, the little black blob where the
middle of the
plant
plant.
is.
Middle of the
No,
plant.
the
Right
top, higher,
Here?
down, right. Right around there.
Right
Watch.
there.
Watch movement. There's movement there.
Oh
See?
yeah.
Oh, it's creepy.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it looks
Oh.
like a cat or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like something's
There's
like.
no back-
But maybe
There's
the woman in black was like, "Oh shit, he saw me," and then she's like,
It's just like a woman that's not paying rent somewhere.
"Yeah, she's a squatter."
Oh crap.
Like there was something moving there. Like that.
Yeah,
There was
Yeah.
100%.
definitely something there for sure.
Well, I feel like
That was
that's why it's good to have these like discussions and all that, because it was just like I didn't see that, going through it by myself. So that's definitely an interesting thing to see there.
See, I think the real question now is: was it one of us, like, or even like a reflection of one of us, or like a cat?
Yeah.
it was
We
just-
definitely didn't see any
I don't
cats
know.
that
I don't
night,
think we
though.
really saw a cat, but there could have been a raccoon or something outside, right? It was that kind of an area.
The cliche burglar raccoon gazing into the window.
I don't know. It was like, but there was legitimately something there.
Yeah. All right. This is pretty interesting one too.
In this first video, you can see a slight increase in light in the bottom left corner. Throughout the night, there were also a number of orbs that were caught. This one demonstrates an interesting pattern as it swoops from the right into the center shot and then back to the right.
Jordan's freaked out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there.
In
There's your
this shot, the entire shot brightens and then dims again for no seemingly known reason. No one was awake and no one changed any of the lighting in the room. Here we can see another orb drift by.
I didn't see it.
This orb was
Oh, it's just a little guy down here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I did see like movement up at the top right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think there's a few. I really think it's like probably one bug flying around the camera.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was a hand.
Oh, okay.
This orb was exceptionally interesting due to the fact that it seemed to leave a trail behind it as it passed by, which would not be prominent with either insects or dust.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's the first one.
So
George says-
I think the only reason why some of those smaller things are interesting are just because you do say that you see like a shadow at some point that's would be on that side of the room. Like that was the side that all like the door was on. So I was like, oh, you know what? That's kind of interesting. And then when it goes randomly like really bright for some reason on the camera, like that was weird to me. I don't know why it randomly went bright and
Yeah.
darkened again.
Well,
I
you would
don't-
only do that usually in response to like movement or like if I walked right in front, it was trying to like focus on my face.
Yeah.
But,
Like if like a hand went in front of it and it was like, oh, recalibrating kind of thing.
Mhm.
But it just randomly was just like, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh,
I don't know. The big orb.
That one was great.
See, to me, whenever I see stuff like that, I'm like, it looks impressive and it could be a lot, but it could just as easily be like a little piece of dust really close to the lens falling.
I think the fact that it swivels around is probably like a bug, right? Like there's a lot of bugs outside. I don't remember seeing a lot of them inside, but if you had one bug,
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any inside, and I also would think a bug would be black or like darker, not bright white.
I don't know with infrared what a bug would be.
Oh yeah, 'cause it was infrared.
That's a good point.
I've never thought about what a bug would come across because most of the time you see stuff like that and it's a bug, there's a light source hitting it. We don't have any lights on
Yeah.
because it does like go back the way it came, which is kind of interesting if we're thinking that that's not a bug. Jesus, how did I do this for?
In my head, I thought it was dust, just because dust can get like blown every which direction. with,
Yeah.
like its breath, right? So
This first video, you can see a slight increase in light in the bottom left corner. Throughout the night, there were also a number of orbs that were caught. This one demonstrates an interesting pattern as it swoops from the right
Like
It's
to
pretty
me,
round.
Yeah, it's
that
pretty round.
like Jordan could have pushed his arm down. It shot out a piece of dust from the bed, and then it came back around.
Giant piece
Yeah.
of dust.
Well, it's not even like that, like necessarily big. It could just be that close to the camera.
Yeah,
It
Just
is
under
quite
shot
round,
and then
though.
back to the right.
definitely could be.
It's interesting though, for
Mm.
sure. Like, I always find like things like that so interesting because I'm like, on the one hand, I could try and explain it, like, because it's just close to the camera, that would explain its bigness. But I'm also like, the odds of like it going perfectly, just like so close to the camera,
And then swoop
Yeah.
away.
and the way is kind of an odd movement. Like dust could do that, but it is kind of an odd movement.
Yeah, like you'd almost expect it to be more like a like fall down,
Like,
not like a.
more sporadic.
You had a lot of
Yeah.
breathing going around, like on there. You know, like the air. You know, you're gonna get the edges where it kind of pools back into that vacuum. So it definitely could just be that Jordan breathes out, pushes some dust, and it kind of swivels back around.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I also don't know if you've got an infrared camera, it's picking up infrared. I don't know like what light it's emitting that we don't see. So maybe bugs are attracted to an infrared camera, right? If it's like giving off something, obviously like it's picking up the light. I don't know.
I think it would depend on the bug too, because moths are attracted to that stuff, but I'm not sure about other bugs.
Yeah. So I don't know how hot the camera got. I don't think very hot. And with us there, it's probably more intrigued on us than the camera. But
Yeah, that's interesting. Like
That's cool.
I actually
That's
think that
cool.
was a cool thing to catch. I don't know. I don't know what that is 100%.
yeah. Also over here, you start seeing stuff in the actual video, and it's just my foot. But I got so excited at first because it's like over here starts moving, and then you see something like pop up here, and I was like, "Yo, there's something at the edge of the bed," and it's just like bring my knee up, and I'm like lying down with my knee up, and I was like, "Oh, it's just me." And
Maybe
our
that's
collective snoring was fucking outrageous. That sounded like a dinosaur was in the room.
well, Jordan has sleep apnea, and I need to lose weight, so
And I know that I was snoring too. So it was,
I do also know that all three of you were snoring.
yeah.
Yeah.
that was
It's
that was
fine.
pretty good.
It's all good.
All right, let's try to skip ahead here.
Interestingly,
that there I thought was
in this
cool.
shot, the entire shot brightens drift by.
What?
Behind it.
All right, this is just the end of it. This is just the stuff that we talked about that we didn't actually record at all.
okay.
Okay, so we have woken up the next day. I think we heard some banging in the night around 2 in the morning. And Jordan.
Yeah, I saw
banging
a
in the
shadow
night.
just, like appear on the door. We'll have to see if it's actually been caught on the motion detector cameras. Hopefully, we get something there. But yeah, it was an interesting, very interesting day.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I know we definitely we heard some noises the night. One of our other videos, we like respond to the fact that you can hear thumping going on, but we also in that exact moment we're like, whoa, there's thumping, and Eric's like, I hear people outside. The thumping sounds a lot more like someone walking really heavy, but we weren't the only people in the hotel either, so it could just be that. And then us hearing thumping in the middle of the night, we were already pretty late, but we did see one other guy getting coffee in the night too, so maybe he stayed up.
Yeah, the hotel overall was pretty quiet. Like I didn't hear anybody walking around the hallways all that much, or
Yeah, you didn't really see anybody.
I think
no.
that's why I thought it was weird that it was so like there was that sudden loud
Yeah.
noise. It's like where that why?
It was definitely weird, and be like one of those things would be cool if you like be reproducible, like us be able to test walking above us or walking through the hallways. I think we did test walking the hallways though without hearing anything.
In hindsight, I should have gone and walked on like the floor above us or something like that and seen if like how it got picked up or whatever.
We
So
really
that-
need to start testing that.
It's not a bad idea for next time, actually.
Yeah, that's
So,
what we
like-
said last time.
Like this is what normal sounds will sound like.
Write down, write down.
Yeah, write it down for sure.
Yeah. As far as though like Jordan seeing something, like that's pretty cool because that kind of goes with a lot of like the stories
Yeah,
is seeing a shadowy figure in the room. So I feel like, you know, that fits the picture of what others have said.
to be fair though, Jordan's glasses are like
Oh my god.
this thick, and like he is basically blind.
That is true, but I was keeping my glasses on at that time because I was trying to stay up all night because I knew I snored. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm gonna stay up all night, and so that's when I was in that like I was kind of past. I wasn't as
so you're
that.
saying you're extremely sleep deprived?
You know what? I swear, you saw those orbs. You saw them.
It's too bad we couldn't capture it because like the one camera didn't. Because didn't we have 2 set up?
We had 2 set up, and one of them
Yeah.
it like opened a folder. Like when you go in to get the pictures off, it's like the dated folder, and one of them had like there's like 70 files because it's like anytime there's something, set it off, and most of the
Yeah.
time is just Jordan rolling over, my knee going up and down, stuff like that. The other camera had the folder, and there was nothing in it.
You know what that loud noise was? It was the ghost destroying the footage on that camera. He was
Yeah.
pissed off.
He just came over. He's like ejected the little
he's
memory
like,
card, and then he felt bad, so we replaced it.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah,
That's what the shadow was.
it is interesting though that you say you saw a shadow. There are orbs that are in that general area. Potentially, we heard your name, and the camera that was documenting that corner also didn't work at the same time. Collectively, probably just coincidental, but it does make for a cool story, cool potential there.
You know what I'll say? Going into this, I was like, we didn't find shit. And like, having like reviewed it all and everything, I'm like,
Yeah, we found a cat.
yeah.
At least.
Yeah,
And maybe a small bug or dust or an orb.
so I think as Frankie would say, it's open to speculation.
I would agree.
Always.
Yeah,
It was an interesting one. I don't know. There was some like whippy stuff.
and it had a short door, and that made it all worthwhile.
And the low toilet, the creepy bathtub.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover.
Okay.
That was fun.
Yeah, it's nice kind of reminiscing on the event too a little bit and getting to
Yeah.
laugh about it, and
Brings you back.
yeah, because it
Yeah.
kind of it happens. You move on, and you kind of forget that it happened after you edit the videos or watch them and all that, and you spend so much time rewatching the same things. It kind of takes you almost out of the moment of just being there. So it's nice to go back and relive it.
Makes it addicting. I want to do another one now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually gonna. Well, I'll talk to you after we start recording, but
All right.
we can hang out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Friendship.
Yeah, friendship.
All right, I'm gonna say bye now and stop recording.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
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 We're not gonna keep talking.
Okay.
After our discussion as a team, it's hard to make a specific conclusion about the Hochelaga Inn. Many of our experiences were debunked or could have normal explanations. With the number of different experiences, it's hard to conclude if they were all coincidence or something more. While I personally didn't find the results to be definitively paranormal, there are many stories, and Jordan's experience during the night fits the descriptions. So if you ever get the chance, it's absolutely a place to stay and to partake in your own spectral searches.